All right, let's dive into something you've probably noticed, but maybe haven't put a finger on. We're talking about a modern day mystery, the psychology behind people who just don't post photos of themselves online. It's a really fascinating peek into what that kind of online silence can actually mean. You've been there, right? You're scrolling through Instagram or Facebook, and you land on a profile, and it's basically a ghost town. No profile pic, no tagged photos, nothing. And your brain just immediately goes, huh, what's their story? Our minds love to fill in the blanks, and usually we jump to the conclusions you see on the left. They must be insecure or super shy, maybe even hiding something. But what if the reality is what's on the right? What if it's the exact opposite? What if it's actually a sign of someone who's secure, independent, and incredibly self-aware? And that right there is the big idea we're going to unpack today. We're going to completely reframe this. We're exploring the idea that choosing to stay private online isn't about being scared. It's about having a really powerful kind of inner confidence. So, if we're treating this like a mystery, we need some clues. Let's start with our first one, and it's all about what actually makes a person tick. It's about being driven by meaning. The key idea here is something called intrinsic motivation. Basically, it's an engine that runs on internal fuel, not external praise. Think about it. It's when you do something just because you love doing it, not because you're hoping for a reward, a raise, or, in this case, a bunch of likes. This quote just nails it. For someone who's intrinsically motivated, the real value of an amazing sunset or a fantastic dinner with friends is the experience itself. The reward is the feeling, the memory you make. It doesn't need 100 likes to feel real or important. And here's how that plays out. On the left, you have intrinsic motivation, which is all about internal stuff, like growing as a person or satisfying your own curiosity. On the right, you have its opposite, extrinsic motivation, which is all about what other people think, chasing likes, followers, social approval. So you can see, if your drive is external, posting photos is almost necessary. But if it's internal, the urge to post just isn't really there. Okay, that brings us to our second big clue in this whole investigation. If intrinsic motivation is the engine, then this next piece is the navigation system. We're talking about having a really strong inner compass. Now, the official term for this is self-concept clarity. It sounds a little academic, I know, but the idea is actually super simple. It just means you have a solid, stable, and clear picture of who you are. You know your values, your beliefs, your strengths, your flaws. Your identity isn't easily swayed by what other people say. And here's what that really means in this context. If you have that high self-concept clarity, you don't need to keep checking your reflection in the digital mirror of social media. You're not posting selfies hoping that the likes and comments will tell you you're smart or good-looking. You already know your own worth. And these are the kinds of traits that come along with that strong inner compass. We're talking a secure self-esteem that comes from the inside, not from others. Emotional independence, where your mood isn't swinging with every comment you get. You just have less need for that outside pat on the back, and you have real confidence in what you believe. It's a powerful psychological foundation. Okay, so we've got our two main clues, that internal drive for meaning and a strong, clear sense of who you are. So now, let's put the pieces of the puzzle together and solve this thing. Let's talk about the real power of privacy. This is really the heart of it all. When your life already feels rich and rewarding from the inside, and when you're already confident in who you are, well, the impulse to broadcast every moment for an online audience just kind of fades into the background. It's not an attack on social media. It's just a shift in focus, from curating a life to actually living it. So, let's wrap this up. The next time you come across a profile with no photos, maybe just pause before jumping to conclusions. Instead of seeing weakness, consider that it could actually be a quiet sign of real strength, secure self-esteem, deep intrinsic motivation, emotional independence, and a solid, well-defined sense of self. And that leaves us all with a pretty powerful question to think about. Take a look at your own online world. Is it a genuine reflection of your life and who you really are? Or is it more of a performance, staged for an audience? Definitely something to chew on.